Welcome back, algebra. In this video, we're going to talk about parallel lines, what they are, what makes two lines parallel, and we'll do a couple examples of common homework problems that you see. So I'm going to do 3 different lines for you. I'm going to graph y equals 2x minus 3, y equals 2x plus 1, and y equals 2x plus 4. And notice here we have, this is in the format y is equal to mx plus b. And recall that the m here is your slope, and the b here is your intercept. I'll write int for short. So this is actually really going to help us here, right? The slope for all of these lines is 2. And then the intercept can be found here. And so we're just going to use that information to lickety-split graph these. I'm going to start with blue, y is equal to 2x minus 3. And so I'm going to find my intercept at the point 0, -3, right here. And I'm going to use my slope. Remember, this is the same as 2 divided by 1. So that's going to be my change in y divided by change in x. And I'm going to use that to give me another point. I'm going to go up 2 and to the right 1. And connect those 2 points. With my line. I'm going to do the same thing for green. My green line, y is equal to 2x plus 1. So here's my intercept of plus 1. And if I go up 2 and over 1, there we go. I'm going to connect those 2 green lines. Right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing in red. 2x plus 4. So we have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my intercept. And then here's a couple more points on my line using the slope. And connect those dots there. So what you see now is I have 3 lines that are going off into infinity. And they're actually never going to touch. They're never going to touch each other. My graph is a little bit off because I'm doing this by hand. But the distance in between these lines, if you have done it correctly, should be the same. This distance is the same. So they're never actually going to be able to touch. So parallel lines never touch. And parallel lines have the same slope. And parallel lines have different y-intercepts. And let me show you the most common homework question you're going to get. You're going to get something that looks like this. They're going to say, write the equation of a line parallel to y equals -1/2 x plus 2 that passes through six, 8, let's say. So this is how you can approach that kind of thing. They're asking you for parallel lines, which means the slopes have to be the same. So the slope for our new line should also be -1/2. They're also telling us pass through this point. The line has to touch this point. So we have a point 6, 8. Now this is the same as the example that I did for you about how to graph a line given a point and a slope. So let's go ahead and do it. We're going to use our point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And we've got our slope, and then our x1 and our y1 from our point. So I'm going to go ahead and write that out. So we have y minus blank equals blank times x minus blank. And how do we fill in those blanks? Well, y1 means the y coordinate of the point we're working with. So that's what we plug in. x1 means the x coordinate of the point we're working with. So that's what we plug in. And then m is our slope, so -1/2. And so there you have it. We wrote the equation of a line that's parallel to the given line and has gone through the point 6, 8. And most of the time they want you to write this in slope-intercept form. So most of the time they want you to write it as the y equals mx plus b. So we can figure that out by solving this equation for a y. Y minus 8 equals -1/2 x plus 3. Add 8 to each side. Y equals -1/2 x plus 11. And that would be our final answer there. Make my plus sign a little bit nicer. Oh, let's try the whole thing. Plus 11. There we go. Now that's pretty. And that would be your final answer for that one. All right, so that's a little bit about parallel lines. In the next video, we're going to talk about perpendicular lines, but I just want to go back to our summary here. This is the stuff I really need you guys to know. Parallel lines never touch. Parallel lines have the same slope. Parallel lines have different y-intercepts, and I hope that you all are